It is an impossible task to fully understand what's going on in a dog's head. However, animals have certain habits, expressions, or gestures with which they are able to communicate through body language. And it is that dogs continually express themselves and tell us things by moving their tail, ears, or even their tongue. But these dog gestures are not always easy to interpret, and certain dog attitudes can raise doubts. In order to understand your dog and read the signals that our pet sends us, we must pay attention to the details and take into account the movements of the tail and the body, since these play a fundamental role in their non-verbal language. Looking directly into your eyes, sleeping in your bed, raising eyebrows, putting ears back. Do you recognize any of these gestures in your dog? Although dogs are usually very expressive, we don't always know exactly what they want to tell us. Therefore, we will explain 7 things dogs do and decipher what each gesture means so that you can understand your dog. Number 7 on our list is, does your dog sleep in your room even when you're not there? The first thing you must understand to why your dog sleeps in your room or sleeps with you is that it is a social animal, a pack animal, which in the wild they prefer to sleep in a group. The dog is not a solitary animal, so this curious habit is in its nature. Many dogs prefer to sleep near their humans or next to them in order to protect them if something happens. This is a natural behavior of the species. If you notice that your dog likes to sleep with you, but you don't want him to continue sleeping in the same bed, just place his bed next to yours. Neuroscientist Gregory Burns explained in his book, How Dogs Love Us, that when an animal sleeps in its owner's bed, it is because he loves it. Although there is some controversy about whether or not to allow a dog to sleep in the bed, the fact that he does so even when you are not in the room, your dog is still showing you his loyalty. Next on our list is, your dog is looking at you straight in the eyes. Brian Hare, professor of anthropology and director of the Center for Canine Cognition at Duke University, says that if your dog looks you directly in the eye, it means that he is hugging you with his eyes. According to Hare, that's when the dog's brain releases oxytocins, the same love hormones, responsible for creating the strong bonds between mothers and children. If you notice that your dog has been looking you in the eye for a while and you don't know why, it is very likely that he is asking for permission to do something. Perhaps he wants to go outside, run or play with other dogs, but he knows that he needs your consent to do so, and for this, he uses the look. Your dog might feel hungry, and you've completely forgotten about it. You will notice how an intense look does not take your eyes off. It will be the best reminder for you to feed your dog. Another of the main reasons for the staring of dogs is that they want to go for a walk. Dogs, just like us, get bored, and when they have been indoors for a long time, they feel the need to go outside, enjoy the fresh air, and hit their little runs while interacting with other dogs. Dogs also like affection and pampering, so it is important that from time to time you spend some time petting them and saying things that raise their self-esteem, that make them feel loved. If he looks at you, tickle him, say things he likes, and play with him. If after that he stops looking at you, you will know that the reason is that he was trying to get your attention. Number 5 on our list is dogs' gestures. Everyone knows that the mood of dogs can be read in their body language. When they are crouched, when they hide their tail between their legs, when they show their teeth, etc. However, a study conducted at the University of Azabu in Japan showed that dogs also have facial expressions that are almost imperceptible to the human eye. To carry out this study, several dogs were placed in front of their owners and in front of unknown people. Seeing their owners, The scientists saw how the dogs raised their eyebrows slightly, especially the right one. On the contrary, when they were in front of a stranger, they moved their left ear back. Number 4 on this list is, does your dog bring you his favorite toy? First of all, it is important to remember that every dog is different, not only in terms of breeds, but from dog to dog, and therefore this should be taken from a broad perspective until you have witnessed these behaviors for yourself. We all love that perfectly innocent moment when you arrive home, and your dog is overwhelmed with excitement at your arrival, then brings you his favorite toy. At that moment, you may find yourself thinking, why does my dog bring me a toy when I come home? If you imagine for a moment that your dog is like a child, when a child receives that new favorite toy for Christmas, it is impossible to take it away. Dogs are very similar. They can even decide to take their toys for a walk. The same goes for the question, why does my dog bring me his bone? If your dog brings you his favorite toy, he is showing that he can trust you not to take it from him. Study shows that this idea that your dog just wants to show you this amazing thing of his, but with no intention of giving it up. This might seem a bit frustrating, but you have to admit, it's extremely cute. And there's potentially a very good reason for that. Your dog may have realized that when he's carrying a toy, he gets more attention, so they've decided that grabbing a toy when you come home will give them all the attention they want. There's also the classic theory of pack hierarchy and the idea of giving gifts to your alpha. They may instinctively bring you a toy to please you if they see you as their alpha, to ensure they keep their place within the pack. Number 3 on our list is, your dog stays calm when you leave. Gregory Burns also explains that, opposite to our popular belief, if a dog gets nervous when he sees that you are going to leave the house, it is not because he loves you, but rather because of separation anxiety and the panic of being separated from you. On the contrary, if the animal calmly accepts that you are going to leave, it means that it trusts you and that it knows that you will return home. Leaving your dog alone at home is a situation that we cannot avoid all the time. Normally, a few hours a day are not usually harmful for the dog. However, you should keep in mind that leaving your dog alone at home for too long can have serious consequences, both legal, emotional, and medical, in the case of your dog's health. Speaking of leaving your dog at home, if you could also leave us a like, comment down below, and we would very much appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Now, let's get back to understanding our dogs. Next on our list is, what does the movement of my dog's tail mean? Dogs wag their tails when they are excited, and although they may not do it consciously, whoever is around them can use this movement to find out the emotional state of the dog. In fact, the movement of the tail is among the main bodily signals that dogs emit in social contexts, and surely the signal that people use the most to try to understand the intentions of a dog. It is something similar to what happens when we find something funny and we start laughing. We do not do it on purpose, but others can take advantage of our laughter to find out how we feel. Wagging the tail is part of the nature of dogs. It is something inherited from wolves, but with domestication their tendency to this behavior has greatly increased. Many people believe that a dog that wags its tail has good intentions and are surprised when something in the dog's attitude makes them see otherwise. In reality, dogs wag their tails to communicate different emotional states, from joy to irritation, threat, fear, or insecurity. A tail with a high bearing indicates a confident attitude, while a low one is related to greater insecurity. Another important aspect is the speed of movement. Faster movement corresponds to greater arousal. Dogs are also very excited when their tail has such a quick and short movement that it seems like a vibration. For this reason, It is important to pay attention to other signals that the dog transmits through the tail, such as its height, the amplitude of the movement, and its relaxation, as well as the signals that it emits with other parts of the body, such as body posture or the vocalizations. And the last on this 7 things that dogs do and their meaning is your dog's mouth gestures. Even if your dog doesn't speak, his mouth has a lot to say. And it is that your dog's mouth is another of the parts of his body with which he communicates the most. These are some of the gestures of dogs with their mouths. If the dog is relaxed, his mouth is usually closed or slightly open. When he is happy, he opens his mouth wider and may even pant quietly. The dog shows aggressiveness by pulling back its lips and baring its teeth. It may be a warning, or it may be that the dog is about to become active and may bite. Dogs' lives are short. Make sure to give time to play, understand, and love them. Thank you for watching, and see you on our next video.